Every baby needs a soft and warm cardigan. Hi, I'm Connie Ellison and welcome to Knit and Crochet Now. Today we'll knit a cute baby cardigan using a construction technique that's a little different. It's worked sideways, and we'll see how to crochet the wonderful texture of cables into a baby or a toddler sweater. And in our technique corner, learn to make 3 kinds of crocheted ribbings. So let's knit and crochet for our favorite baby on Knit and Crochet Now.
From the editors of Crochet World, Creative Knitting and Crochet Magazine, it's Knit and Crochet Now, presenting new designs and stitching techniques featuring Connie Ellison, Lena Skvagerson, Melissa Leapman, Jenny King. Stay tuned for knitting, crocheting, yarns, needles, and more. Today's project theme is Sweet Baby Cardigans.
Hi, I'm here today with my Sideways Knit Baby Cardigan. I am so happy to be able to walk you through this project, as it's actually one of my absolute favorite baby cardigans that you can make. It comes in sizes from newborn to 3 years, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a baby cardigan. But the piece we have here that we knitted up for the collection is a 3-month size. You see it here, and what's so great about it is that it's knit all in one piece, and that's what I love about this project. You're going to start at the front edge, knit sideways, and you will put these stitches to rest while you work the sleeve, put them back, go and work the back of the cardigan, and then the sleeve, and finally you end at the front edge. And it's going to turn your little girl into a fashionista, but if you do have a boy, this pattern actually also comes with not the scalloped edge, but a regular button band. So lots of opportunities. There's a lot to show here, so I'm just going to get right into it. So what we're first going to do is show you how we started the scalloped edge. I already did cast on the stitches and purled the first row. And now I'm ready for the second row of the pattern, and here we go. We start by knitting 2. So I knit the first 2 stitches there at the bottom. Then I'm going to slip the stitch. No, I'm going to knit 1 more. Those 2 first, that's kind of like the edge. Then I knit 1 more, and that's where the repetition starts. I'm going to slip this stitch back to the left needle. And then we're going to pass the next 8 stitches over this stitch. And it's tempting to pass more than 1 at a time, but I promise you it's better to take them 1 at a time. So we'll do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and let's see here now, the 8th one. Make sure that's kind of like how you see the first scallop is being started. So what we do then is that we do a yarn over twice, like that. Then we knit this slip stitch again, like this, and then we knit 2, and that's the ending of the first repetition. So then we can already see how the scallop is being formed here. We start the repetition again, and that's with knitting 1, slipping and then putting it back, important, so that we can slip the next stitch, 8 stitches over it. 2, 3, oops, not dropping it, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have our second one. We'll do a double yarn over, knit that stitch again, and then we knit 2. So that's the second repetition, and now I think we got how we're working that first row. So I'll put that aside, move on to my next step out. Here, I did finish the first row, so turning around, ready for row 3. So we slip the first stitch with the yarn in the back. This is just how to make a nice looking edge. We slip it. Then we're going to purl 2 together and put the yarn in front of the work, go into the next 2 stitches, and purl those 2 together. Then we get to the yarn overs, we're going to drop the first one. So we only have 1 yarn over left on the needle. We're knitting into the front loop like that, and then we knit into the back loop of the yarn over like this, and then we drop the yarn over off. Now we're going to pick up the same strand of the loop that we dropped off like this. We're just picking it up from front to back, like going into it from the front, and then we're knitting again into the front of the loop and into the back of the loop. So there we go like this, and then we're going to purl 1. That's the end of that repetition, and we can switch around to see now it's starting to look really nice from the front. I will repeat again. We're starting over again by purling 2 together, then dropping the first yarn over, working into the front, working into the back, picking up again from the front to the back, working into the front, working into the back, and then ending the repetition with purl 1. Think we got it, right? That's the scalloped edge. So we'll put that aside, and now ready for the next interesting little technique here on this cardigan is the salvage edge. And you always knit the first 3 stitches a certain way according to the pattern, and the last 3 stitches also described in the pattern. And I'm going to show you how we work them. So here to beginning, you knit the first stitch. Always knit the first stitch. Then the next stitch, you slip it with the yarn in front of the needle, and then you knit the next one. That's how you work your first 3 stitches on the row. And then I'm just going to knit across here so that we can get to the end of the row, which would on the cardigan be up by the neckline. So I just keep knitting, and just so you think about it, like if you don't want to make a baby cardigan, these are like some great techniques to just know for whatever other projects where you want a really nice looking edge. So we come to the last 3 stitches, and we will slip that stitch with the yarn in front. We knit the next stitch, and then we slip the last stitch. So that's how you do at the end of every row that you're working with this salvage edge. So turning around, you will always knit the first, slip the next, and then knit the next, and keep knitting across. So now I'm going to lay it down here so you really can see how very pretty this is. This is also great for a scarf or other projects where you want some really nice looking edges. So great technique to know, like this. So now we need to remember to do this at the beginning and end of every row while we work the project. So here I've mocked up a little front piece. This is the left front piece where we have the edge. We're working short rows, and we have the salvage edge. And now I come to the point where I want to show you how to work short rows. So there are many different techniques how to work short rows, and I use a very simple technique here, and that's actually just to turn. So I start the row by knitting 1, slipping 1, and then knitting across to my first marker that I put in piece. And I'm going to show you now exactly what we do when we get to the marker, because short rows does not have to be more complicated than this. So we get to the marker, okay? And this is what shapes the cardigan, that gives it a little A shape. And you see there will be like some small holes, but not bad. I turn my whole project around like this, and I just knit back. But what I pay attention to is that the first stitch knitting back, I kind of wiggle a little bit tighten it a little bit so we don't leave bigger gap than we need to. And then I'll just knit back. And this is how it's constructed, like you knit up to the first marker, knit back. You knit up to your second marker, knit back, and then you knit all across all the stitches up to the top and knit all the way back. So every repetition has 6 rows, and 6 rows will be at the bottom, and that will be 2 rows at the top. See, now I almost missed out here that we got to the edge. Last stitches, slip, knit, and slip. So that's how we can see how this piece now is coming together. And I'm going to show you, oops, there I dropped some, but I'm going to show you here on the cardigan, what we've been doing here now is that we knit up to here, knit back. We knit all the way up to here, knit back, and then all the way at the top and knit back. You will eventually get here where you'll put the first stitches on a holder and then cast on new stitches for the sleeve and then work like this. So as you can see, this is a really great project. You can be a beginner, and even if you don't make a baby cardigan, you have learned some pretty good new techniques.
Hi, today on the Technique Corner we're going to learn 3 different ways to make crocheted ribbings. Here we go. The first one is based on single crochet stitches, which is the basic, most simple, easy peasy way to make crocheted ribbings. I've started it for us. What you're going to do is you'll start with a row of just plain single crochet, just the normal way that you always do, and then you're going to work all subsequent rows in the back loop, single crochet into the back loop. So rather than going into both loops like this, you're going to go into only the back loop and do a single crochet stitch, back loop, reach up, grab the working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over the loop, pull it through both loops. That's a back loop single crochet stitch. And we're going to do that all the way across the row. Make sure you get into the last stitch of the row here. We're not going to work into the turning chain 1. We're going to chain 1 and turn, but that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. It just helps us get our yarn and our hook up to the right height to work this next row, which is exactly the same as the row we just finished. So we're going to go into the first stitch through the back loop only, and we're going to work single crochet all the way across, working in the back loop only. And that's what sideways single crochet ribbing looks like. We're making this sideways. So now to complete a sweater, you would pick up stitches along this side and work upwards. Let's learn another way of doing crocheted ribbing, this time using post stitches. You know, a post stitch is when instead of working into the top of the stitch, we work around the body of the stitch of the prior row. So you'll start by working a row of double crochet. And then to start your ribbing, you're going to chain 2 to turn, and we're going to work front and back post double crochet stitches. So yarn over hook, insert hook around the post of the stitch, from front to front like this. Reach up, grab the working yarn, pull up a loop, 3 loops are on your hook, yarn over, draw it through 2 loops, 2 loops are left on your hook, yarn over, draw it through 2 loops. That's a front post double crochet. We're going to alternate that with a back loop, with a back post double crochet. Oops, yarn over hook first, insert it. So the only difference is the direction in which way we insert the hook. We're going to alternate a front with a back, with the front, all the way across the row. And this is what 1 by 1, 1 front, 1 back, 1 front, 1 back, 1 by 1 ribbing in front and back post double crochets looks like. There's another ribbing that we can do that looks sort of like a knit 2 purl 2 rib using double front and back post double crochet stitches. And you'll start the same way with a row of double crochet and then chain 2 to turn. The chain 2 in these cases does count as the first stitch. So you'll skip the first stitch, yarn over hook. We're going to work 2 front post double crochets next to each other. Alternating with 2 back post double crochets. Alternating with 2 front post double crochets. All the way across the row. At the end of the row, you need to work a half double crochet into the top of that turning chain. Remember we chain 2 to turn? The top of that chain 2, you're going to work a half double crochet. This is what your 2x2 ribbing is going to look like. And that's how we crochet ribbings.
G'day, my name's Jenny King, and how cute is this cardigan? I know it looks really complicated, but I'm going to walk you through step by step how to do each section. And it comes with a most adorable hat. Now let's get started. Now because the pattern is complicated and it's over pages, once you print it out, all the things are on different pages, I decided to simplify it out, and I got my camera and I took a photo of the 2 pattern sections I need to repeat that made them nice and large and printed them out. Now I'm going to work first of all with the twisted cable pattern, which is this section here on the cardigan, and show you how to do that first. Then we'll move on to the bobbles. So let me shift those both out of the way and we'll get started. Normally when we do stitches, we do it into the top of the stitch, and I'm going to work the first 2 single crochet into the top of the stitches. But now we need a front post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, and that means instead of going into the top of the stitch, we're going to go around the stitch from right to left and then complete the stitch. I'm going to do that again. Yarn over, and we're going around the post of the single crochet. So insert it from the right to the left and finish our double crochet. Yarn over, right to the left, and we're doing 4 of these. So I'm on my 4th one. So let me show you that again. From the right to the left. And now we're going to work our next 2 single crochets in the top of the stitches. And I finish the row. What I realised in this pattern, and I'm going to point it out, is that row 2 is single crochet in each stitch across. Single crochet in each stitch across. Row 4 is repeat row 2, which is single crochet in each stitch across. So every even row throughout, you're going to be working 1 single crochet into each stitch. That made it easier for me to follow. So I'm hoping it will do for you. Now I've used a different colour to do our next row. Once again, single crochet, and now we're going to do a front post stitch. Now this is easier to see because we've got a nice long post. See? So I insert from right to left, pull the yarn up, and finish our double crochet. So instead of going into the top of the stitch, we're going to go right down to the double crochet 2 rows away and pull that up, and that's how we get that lovely 3D effect. Yarn over, bring through, pull through 2, and here's our last double crochet there. Now be careful, you can go and get it caught in some of the stitches. It should be quite easy to glide through, and then you know you've got it right. We've done our 4 post stitches, Now we're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch and a single crochet in the next stitch. Sometimes you can get lost as to where you're supposed to put it, so it's a good idea to flip it over and count that we have 4 missed tops of the stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's the front of our work. Now we're getting ready to cross over. Once again, a different colour. First 2 single crochets have been worked. We're going to skip 2 of our post stitches here. Notice that we've got our even row as our single crochet row there. We ignore that completely. And we're going to yarn over, miss 1, 2, and we're going to go around this post here of the 3rd stitch and work a double crochet. Yarn over and work around the next post. That's the easy part. Now we have to come and work these 2. So yarn over and we'll be working in front. So we come around and go around the post there and pull through 2 stitches, 2 loops, 2 loops. This fella here likes to hide. So he's going to take some getting into, but you only have to do this every 8 rows. So yarn over and go under the post, around the post from right to left. Pull it up, through 2, and then we do our next 2 single crochets. For our next row, we're just going to be working as if there was no twist there at all. Now I'm going to show you that on a big piece. It just makes it easier to see. So now that we've mastered our twisted cable here, I'm going to work it in the whole section of the front panel. So we have 4 single crochets, a random front post stitch, which gives us this lovely ridge here to define the sections that we're working on. I'm going to do that twisted cable one more time. Skip 2, go around the post of the next stitch, around the post of the following stitch. Ready for our crossover where we come back to the first 2. Around the front post stitch there. Little sneaky devil in here. He's in there. Yarn over and around. Pull through 2, pull through 2. And now we have to do 4 single crochets. To make sure we've got them in the right spot, let's just check that we're only missing 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. And we do 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and now we're ready to do a post stitch. Once you get the hang of this, you'll wonder why you ever thought it was a little bit tricky. 1 post stitch. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet, and we're up to bobbles. All right, it's a 4 double crochet cluster. That's the Australian in me coming out. We're going to do all of these into the 1 stitch. So yarn over, insert it into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, leave the last 2 on the hook, yarn over, insert it into the same stitch, pull through 2, do that again, and one more time for good luck. And we should have 5 on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over and pull through all 5. And now we're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. That cluster's a little bit shy, so we just pop him out. So you get the lovely distinct bobble. And we're ready to do another one. So yarn over, put into the hole, pull up a loop, pull through 2, do that again, pull through 2, pull through 2 and 1 more. Yarn over, pull through all of those, and then we just do 3 single crochets. These are alternated. I'll show you what I mean by alternated. One row has them here, the other one has them in between to give that lovely effect. We're ready to do another bobble, but I think you've got the idea. Three, 4. Yarn over, pull through all of them. 3 single crochets and so on. So by dividing your pattern into separate sections, you'll get the hang of it really easily. The one thing I thought I'd like to show you is this hat, which is a bonus. And I just did this laid flat. It is a flat pattern, but most hats are normally worked in the round. So I just thought I'd show you that it just has a post stitch and a cable. And when it's done, you'll just stitch it up and it will decrease in. You're going to enjoy this so much. It comes in 3 sizes and it's just so cute.
You can find the patterns and instructions for today's projects on our website. Next time, we'll make one-of-a-kind totes that take you and your yarn everywhere on Knit and Crochet Now.
If you'd like to get more tips and tutorials, product reviews, and updates from the Knit and Crochet Now team, visit our website at knitandcrochetnow.com and sign up for our free monthly email newsletter. Today's show is number 805, Sweet Baby Cardigans. More stitching inspiration is available with a year's subscription to Creative Knitting, Crochet, or Crochet World magazines, which includes our Season 8 DVD set of Knit and Crochet Now. The cost is $34.99. To learn more, go to knitandcrochetnow.com. All 8 seasons, over 100 episodes of Knit and Crochet Now are available for you to access online on your computer, tablet, or mobile device. Purchase for $24.95 annually.
Brought to you by Annie's for those who are passionate about yarn and creative expression. With Annie's Craft Store showcasing patterns and supplies since 1975, and with magazines including Crochet, Creative Knitting, and Crochet World on your favorite newsstand or at anniescraftstore.com. Few things are more satisfying than learning a new creative skill. And one of the best places to get top quality instructions from some of the best teachers in the country is at anniesonlineclasses.com. We have classes in knitting, crochet, and lots of other crafts. Visit us today and watch a free preview. If you find a class you would like to take, we deliver it to you immediately. It will be yours to keep forever. With easy online access from any browser, you can watch, pause, watch again as many times as you want. You can also find lots of supplies and patterns for your newfound skills at anniescraftstore.com. Make sure to visit us online very soon.